G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where I get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's bring in Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, Exalted One.
BP.
G'day everyone, how are you all? You know how we're working on this sort of going pro thing? We're sort of working on, videos and bits and pieces, and we're just trying to work out how to actually make this thing work for us.
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked because we've just opened a TikTok thing up and we've got 4 followers.
TikTok.
We're nailing it. We're all we're all over it.
Don't we have to do a dance or something?
Yeah.
You go first, BP.
4.
You have to do a dance. You go first.
4 followers. How good are we?
Well, we're on fire, mate. Well done. Can't go backward there. Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
I'm not one of those followers yet.
No, my mum is, and Brett's mum is.
I was going to say, and Bicey's one
And
as
I
well.
am.
That's 3. And we've got some bloke called Marty McNichol. And
Mate, you're like an influencer now, BP.
I know. I've got
Everywhere
4.
I look, your face is there. You've been let loose with the socials.
Oh, mate,
and all I see is you've chosen the right thumbnails to use because it's all your face.
Well, right. I just put it on there. That's all.
Yeah. Of course.
At least I'm in the middle of this camera screen, Bicey.
Well,
with yours.
No, well, how's our bloody alignment here, boys? We've spoken during the week about, just getting a bit more professional and using green screens and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's successful. You're running the white screen in front of a whiteboard there to turn around and take some notes. And I've got half a green screen.
We're getting there.
I will never accept perfection on this podcast. That would be just a disgrace.
Absolutely not. So this is all planned.
Loose.
For the
Loose.
viewers. This is planned, loose and fast. Absolutely.
Right.
Where are you situated, Jordan? You
look like you're having fun there, mate.
That is literally about 400 metres from my house. That's the bottom of my street. That's a photo my wife took. And
she's talent. She's definitely got the talent. in the family.
She got the talent. That's right. I got the looks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just the bottom of my street. Literally, I go past to get out of my house to get out onto the main road. I have to go straight past that. So, very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we should bring in our guest because one of the things about the video scenario now is that everyone can see. Our guest is sitting there just looking, going, "You idiots, hurry up!" So we might as well bring her in. Our guest is
here we go.
Go on.
No, I'm waiting for you.
Okay, our guest. We're all pretty fired up about this one because one, we love the Dutch, and their love for the ocean race and their love for sailing, and great people.
Yeah, love for Stroopwafels.
I knew it was
Something
coming.
which I know you are extremely excited about, Jordan. And myself, I have a favourite bit of Dutch land as well. The Heineken. The great Heineken comes from such a country. So, So we've all got our loves from Holland. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So our guest tonight's into it. She's into sailing, a pro sailor, and one of the emerging talents that are coming out of the Netherlands, and was part of the ocean race on the 65s with Team Whisperer. Part of Sailing Holland, part of the Heine Team Talents approach. I've seen her on M32s. I've seen her down for the Sydney Hobart. I've seen her doing quite a few things, but as part of the ocean race, this edition won the import, won the first leg in the 65s. And we're very excited to chat to her because there's one other thing that really, really interests me about this lady. She's got a master's in biomedical engineering, that's cool, with a specialty in biomechatronics. I have no idea what that is, but to me, it's robot spiders, and I'm sticking with that. So please, welcome to the show, Arienne van der Loosdrecht. How'd I go?
Woohoo!
Close.
How'd he go?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on board. And speaking of being on board, your first leg, in the ocean race you've ever done, and you win it. Got to be pretty chuffed about that.
Yeah, it was good. It was like it was super much fun, and winning it was, of course, like the best thing that could happen for that. So enjoyed it loads.
We have to focus in on that. So I had a look at the team, right? You got yourself, Dutch, so multilingual, obviously, Dutch. What are you, German and English? I'm guessing would be your languages. How am I going?
Probably chuck a bit of French in there
Maybe
as
a
well.
bit of French.
Yeah, not so much, but like
Okay.
a little bit German, English.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a lot of Polish people on that team. Then you've got the Lisbot, and then
Yeah.
you've got I think Nettie was on the team, and I'm just trying to find out what language you spoke in, because I just want to work out how much swearing you had to put up with from Nettie, because if it was in English.
Every second word.
You've learned a few new words.
What's the language on the boat?
We made our own special language. We got the Spanish, we got the Polish. No, it was English, of course, because like there were so many different nationalities, and the only thing everyone could speak was English. But it was a good way to learn a little bit of Polish, but mainly to learn some Spanish.
Yeah. And swear words in English, I bet you, because that Nettie boy, he throws them out there.
But he doesn't realise they're swear words. He just thinks it's normal English.
That's normal English.
Because he arrived to us in the Volvo in 208 in Telefonica, and he could hardly speak English, but he just worked out that word was part of our normal language.
Normal vocabulary.
He just thinks it's normal.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. So how did you get into sailing? Obviously, it's a safety mechanism in the Netherlands, because at some stage you're going to be underwater, so you need to know how to sail. Is that basically the philosophy, or what?
Yeah, for sure. That's why my parents got me into it. And but I just started sailing with my parents on the one of the many lakes in Friesland that everyone goes sailing on, I think, when they're young. So they got me into it. And but that was just like cruising and like at sailing schools and stuff. And then at some point I got in so I didn't get into racing super early. But when I was 14, 15, I did some racing at a local club, and I thought it was so much fun. And from there on, I've been racing a lot. I just noticed then that sailing out there is fun, and I think being out at the sea or at the lake is super much fun. But then racing against other boats, I was sold right away.
Yeah.
So, what's the traditional, the starters boat in the Netherlands? So, when you were sailing on the lakes, was it in an Opti or just something else, and then when you were racing, what was that?
So when I started, I was already a little bit older, so I didn't do the Optis anymore, even though that's like what most young people start in. And then there's loads of local boats, but also of course the Olympic boats, because I think that's pretty big in the Netherlands as well. And I also did a lot with smaller keel boats, so the Melges 24 and the J70s, and the match racing. Like that's pretty big here as well. So I did a lot of that in that time.
And were you just hooked instantly, like from that minute you race? Was it a competitive thing, or was it just the fun element, and the racing being good was a bit of a byproduct, so to speak?
No, so I think I enjoyed the sailing, and I knew that from when I went sailing with my parents. But for me, it was just an extra dimension, racing against other people and making the boat go fast, and winning and going faster than other people. So that made it a lot more fun. And when I started doing that, I tried to do it more and more. And in the beginning, I didn't know all the possibilities that there were, like the options for going sailing. But the more I did it, the more I saw there's more to do, and there's bigger races, and it's even more fun. So
we talked to a lot of people about this, and this is another example of it. So you've done your dinghies, you've done your small keel boats. You're obviously gaining a little bit of experience. The next step that you've taken, obviously, from where you were to getting on board a Volvo 65 or a VO65, it's a big step. I mean, who did you speak to along the way to actually sort of realise that dream? Because that's one of the biggest questions that we get asked. How do I do a Volvo?
Yeah, so I think for me it was for sure like the Team Heine that you mentioned earlier, which is like a youth squad for the Dutch on a 35-foot boat. We mainly raced, and we did that for 3 years, and that was like there we learned many things. And also now at the start of the ocean race, there were 6 people out of the team from that we had that time that were at the start and racing there. So I think it just shows how good the program is. So we did that, and there you learned everything. You learned how to race the boat fast, but also we did some splicing. We learned how to maintain the winches, how to be there on time, because if you were late, you would be doing push-ups or so. Like we were pretty young then, so we had to learn all the things still. And then when that was finished, it was super. Like we did 120 days a year. So it was we were at the same group all the time, and that made us learn a lot. But then also afterwards, for me, it was like, whoa, I know there's a big sailing world, but I don't know anyone there. It was a bit like, it felt like I ended up a bit in a big gap, afterwards. But then there was actually Caroline Brouwer helped me a lot through the Magenta project.
There you go.
And then So she helped me find my way a little bit in that. So for me, that was like the perfect timing. First doing Team Heine, and exactly when that finished, the Magenta project thing came up. So I think those 2 things helped me a lot.
That's fantastic.
Now,
So
Arienne, sorry, BP, I just got to jump in here. Arienne, these 2 guys don't know what a place like Lelystad can do to people.
You do?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to live in Lelystad for about 6 months when we built the ABN AMRO boats and lived out on the Jolly Marina next to Team Heine, and having witnessed some of the way that they build their teams and everything. So everything that you just said there, from learning to splice to learning, winch maintenance, to be there on time. I remember talking to Roy and Tom and all those guys about some of the drills that they would do, and they'd get you up at 1 a.m. in the morning and all these crazy things going on. So, no, but Lelystad, gentlemen, it's definitely got to be on your list for places to visit.
Have you ever visited the Netherlands?
I promise you, boys.
I don't know whether to take that seriously or not.
Yeah, of course, 23% of the time.
Yeah. So it must have been a ton of fun, when you get a mentor and it's Caroline Brouwer. Like, did you just pick up the phone to some of your sailing friends and just say, I'm being mentored by Caroline Brouwer? Like, that's World Sailor of the Year. Just, she's okay. Won the ocean race. Bad. Like, you must have just been pretty chuffed at that scenario.
Yeah, I don't think I could have had a better mentor at that moment, because it was also just after she won the race. So for me, it was like the first win, to win the ocean race, and my goal was to do the ocean race. So I don't think it could have been any better. And she's Dutch, of course, which is even more fun.
Did you sort of say that to her, that this is your goal, you want to do the ocean race, and that was part of the goal? And obviously you would have had a lot of communication with her.
Yeah, so I think one of the things, for me at least, Caroline was helping me with setting these goals, so the bigger goal was the ocean race, but at that point it was 4 years ago now, I think. So it was still quite far away. So we also set some smaller goals, but she knew that the end goal would be to do the ocean race.
We call her an Aussie now, of course.
We've claimed her, by the way.
The famous Australian
Fair enough.
Well, the lake has. Yeah.
So, as part of the of those discussions with Caroline, did you feel as though when she was looking to skipper the Dutch team, was that maybe a pathway, and now it's just worked out this way, and you're still in contact with her, talking about it?
Yeah, so I was very lucky that the Magenta project setup is only for a year mentoring, but I like Caroline a lot, and I think it was also a bit the other way around. So I stayed in touch with her, and I visited her actually at the lake in Australia later on. So then last year when they announced that, I thought it would be super much fun, and I think it's a shame that it didn't come through, because for me, she's such an example for me of what's possible. So it would have been great fun to sail with her. Yeah, so it's a shame it didn't come through, but it would have been amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the whole element, because you got your first gig, I guess, to bring into the ocean race. We'll go into some of your other stuff in a minute, but we might as well focus in on the ocean race. You did the Europe event. So
Yes.
that was the first intro. How did that one come about?
Yeah, so after the last race, there was still a Volvo 65 with Sailing Holland. So it was back home for us, and they kind of set up like this program to get a lot of young sailors into it. We just did mainly deliveries, a little bit of racing, a lot of training. So through that, they started with a lot of people, and then they had a little bit of a selection for the Ocean Race Europe Tour. And we were with a full Dutch team there. So I think it was we didn't fully speak Dutch on board because we had one person that lived in Holland but didn't speak Dutch. But other than that, we could have spoken Dutch. And there was a couple of the experienced guys who'd already know a lot about the boat, together with, I think it was 6 or 7 guys my age. So it was a great opportunity to learn from them and to properly race the boats for the first time.
Mm. So, one of the things is, I think we're focusing in on this stuff a bit, and one of the interests is that we really try and talk about pathways for people to make it as a pro. Would you describe your pathway as being difficult or easy?
I think I've been lucky, which made it better. Like, for example, getting like Caroline as my mentor. So I think it made it better, but still, if you really want to make it, I think you need to work hard. So it will never be super easy, I don't think. But I've been lucky, and I think that helps.
I mean, the Magenta project is such a successful project, getting from strength to strength. That's obviously a good port of call for the younger generation to get involved in.
Yeah, and I think in general there's more and more opportunities for girls as well. So, I think that's a good thing.
So,
well, you are walking in Caroline's shoes here, so the future is bright. Given she was a guest, episode 37 from memory. So that's just another one that you can talk to her about. How you had to talk to these 3 idiots from bloody Australia.
I will.
So what age were you when you started thinking, you know what, I wouldn't mind being a pro sailor?
I think it was during the time with Team Heine, because for me, I didn't, also in the ocean race, there weren't that much women then, and so for me it looked like really far away or so. And then during the time at Team Heine, Roy said, yeah, this is the, you will learn enough to have the basics for getting to the ocean race. And I was like, well, we're doing quite well. Maybe he's right. Let's try. So when I finished Team Heine, I was like, let's give it a go. I don't know if it's going to happen. And then I went out into the big sailing world, what it felt like for me. And then it actually went pretty well. So I really thought like, okay, this is possible. Let's keep going with it.
Was it a bit of a, were you naturally driven to the big boats, or did you kind of have a bit of a, maybe go to the off the beach or Olympic classes, or it was always going to be a big boat?
I really enjoy sailing in a team, and I still really do enjoy the bigger teams like we have on the 65. So for me, that's a big reason to go and sail on the big boats, that you have a team which you can lift you up at times and which you can help yourself at times as well. So,
yeah. Right. So what about the Mockers then? Dropping back down.
Yeah, that's a smaller team, eh? Yeah. It's a lot smaller, I think. And I think for me still, like this race, that's why the 65s are so much fun right now, because it's still 10 people on the boat instead of, so then you're on board with 3 others instead of being on board with one other. So,
Can we talk about the first leg, because she was a doozy? Obviously, we're right, like as we're recording this, punters. We are. The boats are 25 miles from the finish at Cape Town as we're recording, and we were hoping that they'd finish while we were recording. But at the moment, she is glassy. They're doing about 2 to 3 knots. So we're not going to get that. So let's talk about this first leg, because if we switch our mind back, she was nuclear coming out of the med, trying to get out the heads, as I like to call it, and then just like the perfect conditions down to Cape Verde. Can you just tell us what life was like on board?
Yeah, well, it's a good description in short, I think. But we expected, like beforehand, it was going to be windy, and we knew it was going to be windy. We definitely did not expect it to be this windy, because we spoke about, I think the first 12 to 24 hours were super easy sailing in the med, light winds at some point. So it was quite an easy start. But then we rounded the corner and we knew there was going to be a wind. We didn't know how much it was going to be, but it was going to be windy. And we got out there, and within 2-3 hours, it got up to 50 knots there. So we'd spoken about the smallest setup of sails we could go because it was upwind. We're like, nah, it's only if it's really a storm. We don't need it. Like the J3 triple reef. And then we're out there, we're like, okay, we need to change to the smallest setup we have. Pretty wavy as well for the mat. I was seasick, which I'm not very often at all. So that was a tough part for me and for some others. It was a tough start. So everyone's pretty tired by the time we got to Gibraltar. And then we got to Gibraltar, and it was you only have like very low slot to go through. And there was loads of tacking there. Of course, because the closer we would stay to shore, the less current against us. So we just had the windy stuff, and then there was loads of hard work. But then afterwards, it was glamour sailing. Like the Atlantic was super good, super good.
And tell me, was the party good in Cape Verde?
Yeah, it was, but it was a bit I expected to. Maybe I didn't do my research well enough, but I thought, we go to an island like the Canary Islands or so. Like it's still quite European.
No,
quite
not there.
We went to Cape Verde, and you're in Africa.
Yep.
Yeah, it was so different than
it's
expected.
a big shock. Yes.
Yeah. No, but so there was like a carnival, and there were loads of people partying outside, like local people as well. So it was it was good fun.
Yeah. And so that whole. Was this now the longest time you've been at sea? Have you done any significant crossings or anything?
Yeah, I've done 3 crossings, of which one was 17 days with the 65 from the Caribbean to Holland. So that was quite a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. But then to get into the whole watch system and stuff, obviously like the med, you said, how windy it got and all the tacking, but then to actually slide into a watch system, did you find you could just be out there for weeks and weeks on end?
Yeah, so I think I'm really lucky and I can sleep everywhere, also on the plane. Like everyone's like, oh, how do you do it? So I got into the watch system pretty quickly. And like I said, I was a little seasick. So afterwards I was like, I'm not seasick anymore. I can do anything. Like I can handle being a bit tired or so. And I actually enjoyed it so much, especially the last 2 days. It was really champagne sailing, like 20 knots downwind with these boats is so much fun.
Yeah.
That the last night they were talking a bit about the arrival and stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go yet. I still enjoy it too much. I would love for it to have taken a bit
going
longer.
to Cape Town, you reckon?
Yeah, exactly.
What role do you feel on the boat? Like when you're on the 65s, what roles are you filling?
I was trimming now, and before I did a lot in the pit with when I sailed with the Europe Tour and with the Dutchies.
Yeah, okay,
very good.
And the trimming down once you're out of the med and just smoking down to Cape Verde, it must have just been like it's those things that I was watching that the whole time, just going, oh man, that's what we all dream of, just sitting there on the side, just talking shit to your mates, going
sailing.
Full speed, downwind, just triple head, the whole thing, like how cool is triple heading, like it's unreal. And the 65s invented it, so it's just unreal.
Yeah, it's super good. And the boat, like you're wet all the time, which is a pain at times. But on the other side, I think it's really nice to be outside as well. So it's good and bad, that part, but
we bought that up a bit, didn't we, lads? Like with the mockers, where you go down into your cubby house and you play with your little school friends, and just
put your slippers on.
Yeah, put your slippers on
and play Xbox.
Yeah, and play Xbox. That's exactly right. Whereas you guys, you're the hardy ones. You're the tough ones. You got to get wet.
Yeah, when yachties used to be yachties,
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
When you needed to wear the Crocs.
Never Crocs on board.
Yeah.
There you go.
About that. There's always going to be Crocs on board.
I reckon when we finally agree to sponsorship and someone says, right, we're going to give you money to do this show, which, we've been knocking it back.
Hopefully it's Crocs.
It's going to be Crocs. Crocs are going to come on big. Yeah.
I need a new pair for the team.
Every person that approaches us to start marketing us and trying to sell ads for us, and they all come and say, we'll get champagne and we'll get luxury cars and stuff. And we go, no, Crocs, that's the market.
That's all we want.
But the thing was, for us, it was pretty cold. It was winter in the Med. We had 50 knots upwind. So everyone was in boots. But then we had Neil McDonald, like this guy's gone around the world I don't know how many times. And he said, no, I'm going Crocs. No socks. He went Crocs all the way. It was freezing.
Good old Macca.
He's a legend, bloke. He's a dead set legend.
Well, actually, this kind of leads on to my next question. Last week we spoke to Abby about and some of her crewmates on board with Kevin. How about your crewmates? Were there any little isms at sea that you came across, or did any of them act any peculiar way?
Yeah, anyone pull out the polish?
What we're asking for is some stories.
Yeah.
Well, the Crocs for sure were like, I was surprised by it, let's put it that way. And of course, we had the Spanish guys on board, so we had loads of the what's it called? The
Hamon.
So at some point, it was like inside, and we had just had a bit of hamon, which is super nice. Like, I love it. But that was inside, and in 65, like, especially when you're going downwind, the boat is super heeled. Like you guys know, you need to hold on inside because it's big. So we've got all these handlebars up there. But at some point, they were pretty slippery, and I was like, my hands are not working properly anymore. I don't know, something, maybe I need to wear gloves or so. I don't know what it was. But just the ham was like the greasy part was gone everywhere. So the whole boat got so super slippery. So there wasn't ideal, even though it's super nice.
It must have been Hamon Iberico, which is it's the greasier one.
Yes, it was like the proper good stuff. It was really nice. But,
Nieti wouldn't take anything else, I'm sure.
Yeah. Absolutely
exactly.
not.
He took some extra himself. Yeah.
Did he actually, you get those jigs that you put them in to carve it?
We spoke about it a lot, but we didn't take it on board.
You could mount that on the engine box.
It's going to say, would make a little shelf for it,
take a slither on the way through.
The knife for next week. It will be good because we're going again next week with the 65, and I'll ask him. You'll love it.
Yeah. Going again next week. Is that you going? Is that boat going to the Caribbean?
Yeah, we're doing the 600.
The 600, fantastic.
Yeah,
awesome. God damn,
that's a dream.
Even the dream.
A little bit of a sail across the Atlantic to go and do the Caribbean. I mean, come on, really?
But you guys are still in summer. I mean, it's freezing here. So,
I was going to say,
I'm really looking forward to
you are
weather.
in Holland now and about to go to the Caribbean and have the time of your life. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The only problem is that we've got plenty of listeners from there, and you will now, of course, be because you've timed this so well that once you turn up, they'll all be hunting you down. Now, though, you'll get lots of new friends.
Be careful at the airport.
Make sure you carry the right level of felt tip pen for the autographs on the t-shirt.
I will.
You don't want one of those big fat ones because you just can't do it. It doesn't work.
I gotta throw one out at you because this is just it's just so funny. I wanted to talk about you did a M32 event, I think, and I'm trying to. Oh no, have I lost it? Hang on, I've got to pull it up. I thought I had everything.
China won.
Hey,
the most Dutch Chinese team I've seen.
Yeah. So there was a Dutch team, right? There was a Dutch team competing, and then there was a Chinese team, which Arienne, you were part of. And I'm quite intrigued by the Dutch team. So what I've done is I'll just pull it up again because I think I'll just read the names of this Chinese team to show you how good my Chinese pronunciation is. Are you knowing the team I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun because we just did the event at home, so it was a full Dutch team.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So there was Peter Jan Posma, Arienne, Quinten Besgreen, Annemieke Bess, and Nicholas Heine. The very difficult Chinese pronunciation.
You didn't try my surname. Okay.
Oh. Van der
Don't put him under pressure.
No pressure. All good. But
so that was the Dutch Chinese team.
So how did? What was that like?
Well, we did an event in Medemblik, which I don't know if you spent how much time you spent in Holland, but it's
I know.
Okay, exactly. So we did an event at home. It was quite last minute. The PJ still had an M32, and we were all like, "Well, there's an event at home. Why not do this?" And then we ended up being second. And we had quite a good team, I think. So that was like, well, let's do this more, but then probably need some sponsoring and all of that. So next event was in Marstrand in Sweden with a Chinese sponsor, but with the exact same team as we have in Holland. So it was a very Dutch team on a Chinese boat.
Marstrand's a crazy spot for one of those things. Just there's a lot of little islands to hit there. Like how did you not sink the thing?
Well, they put us outside, which was good because we looked at the place we could have sailed inside, and indeed it would have been major chaos, I think.
Yeah.
But there were massive waves outside. Like you would be going down a wave, you'd be looking like, "Ooh, where's this boat gonna end up?" Because you were so fast in just surfing the waves there. Well, it was an interesting one as well, being outside.
And let's not forget, there's the odd rock outside as well, just quietly.
Just quietly.
If we all remember the 2008 race, whatever it was.
Yes.
What's
We stayed far away from the shore.
So you've done a lot of sailing now. We've mentioned some of it. Obviously, you came down to Australia to do the Hobart. Was that on the Zen? Is that the one you did?
Yeah.
2019, great year.
Is that when you
was super nice.
forgot about Port Starboard?
Yeah, that's right. It was all my fault. Yeah.
So how'd that come about, Ariane? You've done a few stints here. How'd that ride happen for you?
Well, first of all, I went the year before. We did the Rowan Jones, and then I in Australia as well, which I thought was super much fun to see Australia a bit more. I didn't see much of Sydney, so I was like, I would be super keen to have a look and to do the Hobart, of course. And there were some more of the Dutchies, especially from the ones from Team Heine as well. So I think you guys also spoke to Rosalind before. She was there as well. And we had a little group, and we all actually went there 6 weeks before the Hobart. No idea what we were going to do. We were very lucky to stay with some friends, so that was sorted. But other than that, we were just like, let's get as much sailing in as we can. And we know there's loads going on in Sydney. And then I ended up doing some sailing with Zen in some races just before the Hobart. But most teams, of course, were sorted, as did Zen. But then someone broke their hand or so, which was very unlucky for them. But for me, it was a very nice opportunity because they needed an extra crew member. So I could join them.
How did you break his hand?
I think it was during sailing.
Oh, you hit him with a hammer or something?
Winch handle straight to the top of the
I
hand.
wasn't on the boat.
Yeah. I would come over here, Benji. Would you like another drink?
Yeah. Hey, everyone, he's just broken his hand.
Yeah. It's a lesson in life. Never trust a Dutch chick. They're just dangerous.
Especially when they want to get on the Hobart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll do anything.
I must admit, like when you said you did Warren Johns and, came to Australia, and I'm thinking, well, you're over in Perth there. You're about as far away from most of Australia as the rest of the world still. Like, it's a long way across.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's only a couple of towns.
It's still the other... It's still the other side of the world from my perspective.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the other side of the world from our perspective.
Yeah, it's a long way away, but it's only a couple of towns away. Like, I remember... That's right. Bicey and I drove from Paris up to, where did we go? Was it Amsterdam? You and I did a drive. I think that's right. We not Amsterdam, but we went out to Anyway,
wherever it was. But we basically went through 3 countries.
Yeah, and the
in
same
about
time
2 hours.
and the same time it takes to do 3 towns in Australia. It's just hilarious. Like we couldn't believe it. Like, we're sitting there going, 2 hours between countries. Jesus, that's just one town in Australia.
I did a train from Valencia to Amsterdam.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
That's still quite a long way.
I had to stop. I had to. Yeah, I know. I had to stop via Lorient to go and do some mini stuff, and then I thought I'll just go back into Paris. Went to Paris, went up to Amsterdam on a train from Spain, and had to meet up with the guys from Magic Marine because at that stage I was doing some work with them, and then came all the way back to Spain by train.
Trains in Europe.
It was quite a few laps of Delicate Sound of Thunder, Pink Floyd, I might add.
You could go by boat. Time to do a delivery. All right, so
I was going to ask,
yeah,
out of all those boats, what's the best one you've sailed?
Yeah, there we go.
For sure, I love the 65. I've done a lot of miles on it. I think for offshore, it's super nice because it's racy and still a bit comfy. But I think also, we did this. Maybe it was a super cool program and also a cool boat we did on Ep198 with 20 girls on it.
Wow!
And the combi of that project and the boat was pretty cool. So that was at least a good experience on a cool boat.
What boat was that?
Was the La Bête, the old one? And we did a month long. There were 10 girls who did the Volvo. We did the race in Trieste in
the Barcolana.
the Barcolana. Yeah.
On the boat, it would have been the Idea boat. Yeah, I know the one. Oh wow, that could have been
story.
But the Barcolana has it's pretty small.
Couple of thousand.
Yeah, couple of thousand boats on the start line.
And then the big boat in between all those tiny ones were fenders everywhere to start. That was the main thing, just having fenders everywhere.
I love it. Hey, so what about in these boats, all these adventures? This is where I was actually originally going before I started telling my own bullshit story. What's some of the most... Is there a situation or something that happened to you where you were worried or you're what's the most extreme thing that you've seen, whether it's fun or dangerous or...
So let me think. I think there's always on the offshore there things break, and also when we did that big transat from St. Martin to Scheveningen, we had we lost all the communication for a while. And nowadays it's quite maybe you guys I really grew up still having communication even in the middle of the Atlantic. So that felt pretty big because we didn't have any weather forecast or any way of telling anyone we were all right at that point. So that was a big one. And in the last leg, we actually sailed into a whale at some point, doing 20 knots, and we sailed into it pretty fast. And I was kind of surprised because the whole boat, we think it was some sort of whale or so.
Definitely sunfish, I think. Because the sunfish
we've deployed a couple. Yeah, depending on if you're
right in front of our boat. No, but I was in my bed and I was asleep and I woke up against something. I don't even know if it was the roof or the side of the boat, but it was a big stop. And then I just heard people shouting go to the bow, check the bow. I was like, well, what's going on? And because I thought we had Chinese or I don't know, done something that was wrong, but didn't know what was happening. But apparently all the guys outside were sent forward meters and meters. But the good thing was the boat was all good.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Built strong, those boats.
You can get some injuries doing
boats,
that.
Yes. Yes.
Designed to sail around the world, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
What about boat that you would like to sail? So what are some of the adventures you'd like to do? So here, people are listening in, they're going, oh, this lady sounds pretty good, what's next, Is it just the ocean race or does she want to do the Jules Verne or is she, you're wanting to do the Tour de France, whatever it's called, the Voile de France or whatever?
Well, for me at the moment, it still feels like it feels like we've done a leg of the ocean race, but it doesn't feel like I've gone around the world yet.
Yeah.
So for sure that. And I've done a little bit with IMOCA in the last half year, and I've realized that the whole French offshore scene is very different from all the big boat and offshore sailing I've done. So I think it would be super cool to get into that a bit more and see what's possible there and do some cool races with that.
Yeah, it must be exciting to be able to do all this sort of stuff now. It's just, the fact that the sport's changing and finally women are getting that chance, and you're sort of on the crest of the wave. You've had a few people before you, but you're getting these opportunities these days. I know it's still not easy. How do you afford to do it? Like, if you're a youngster trying to make it, have you got an understanding job, or you've just thrown it all in and you're a full-time pro?
No, so I actually started doing this when I just graduated, and I have not done anything with the masters. I've actually finished, but I did a bit of like boat work on the side. And in the beginning, it's not like the first year I was earning loads of money, and I still had to do some stuff on the side. But the good thing is also that most often everything is paid for, so at least you're living life. Maybe still as a student, which was fine for me, but you don't have a lot of cost at that point. If you don't pay a lot of rent or so, everything is covered. So that made it a lot easier in the beginning, I think. Like a bit of side work and then just going sailing all the time is cheaper than being at home and having to do a lot there.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got to ask, biomechatronics, is it robot spiders?
It's not. It's robot humans a little bit more.
Oh,
like it's the arms and all of that that can move.
Robot humans.
Are brain activated.
Wow. We can make him better.
What's the coolest project you've done there? Have you had your robot be able to do a flip and all those sorts of things?
No, we didn't do a flip or so, but like. We did have like the the treadmill where old people can walk on, and it could do like try to swing people off and like make them trip, which was quite fun to try myself as well.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm not using it a lot anymore these days. Like the only like small overlap or so is like we did a lot with simulators as well, and I think they're using simulators more and more these days with the America's Cup and stuff. So that's a little overlap.
Yeah.
Well,
so is it any of that?
Gentlemen,
Yep.
I've suspected something. This is all a bit of a front.
Yep. Here we go.
Arienne really works for Larry Ellison.
Yep.
And she's going to be building robots to drive the Style GP boats around.
Well, one of them.
Just at home, eh?
No humans needed.
It's one robot.
Or
It's just
required.
one robot with 4 arms, 5 arms. Does it all.
Eggs to turn the handles.
Yeah, it does all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we busted her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it will be the next thing in the America's Cup. So you're obviously you're planning ahead. So you'll be able to build robot humans for the America's Cup. The Kiwis will be onto it already. We've had the Cyclaws.
Cyclaws. I was about to bring it up. The Cyclaws.
What about the race now with the ocean race? Obviously, it's now your passion because you're into it. Have you been watching it? And like, are you sitting here going, "Come on, hurry up, guys! I want to try and watch the finish"? Because I wouldn't tell you. I'm telling you not to rush right now because they're not going anywhere. They're just sitting still at the moment.
No, for sure. I followed it a lot. And I think I know quite a few of the sailors that are there.
Yep.
And so I think it's super cool to follow. And especially like the last 24 hours, I did a 5-minute updates. It's not good for me. Like I'm checking my phone a lot, but I haven't checked it for the last 50 minutes. So
I'm checking
I hope
it non-stop.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
So
It's a drift off.
Biotherm looking good.
So from your observations, having sailed against them and now watching the second leg, we'll focus in on the Omokas. Have you got any observations about the boats? What do you think? Because we're not one design, we're a box rule now. So some boats, I've got some views, but I'm interested to see what your views are on the boats that we've got there.
Yeah, I think like it's still like from a bit from outside, but I think you can see that if you see the boats on the dock next to the 65, there's big differences between the boats, and like you can see that Malizia is a lot bigger than, for example, Biotherm and Holcim PRB. And I think you could see it also on the last leg. When they had the windy stuff, Malizia was going so fast. But when it was a bit lighter, they were struggling a bit more. So I hope they're doing well now. But I can imagine it's not as easy for them. So I think that there's a bit like I guess Malicia will do better in the windy stuff, and since they're a bit bigger and the other guys a bit more in the lighter.
Yeah,
well, I'll have you know, just quite. I'm just having a look at the tracker. Malicia is actually skipping Cape Town. They've just turned right. I think they're going to just start
straight around the world.
Leg 3 already.
Straight to Isha.
Yeah, that too. Wrong way.
They're going for a search for a bit of wind.
Let's start.
Better bring Rosalind up. Oi.
Yeah, no, that's kind of my observation. I think you're right, exactly right, Malicia, and maybe 11th hour, they both look to be really strong in the heavy winds, is what sort of struck me. And Biotherm and
PRB.
Wholesome, PRB, better in the lighter stuff. What do you reckon? Who's going to win overall, the whole event?
I have no clue. Like, I think it's going to be super close because I think the next leg will be super windy. Then they will have some lighter legs again. So and then they will end in a med, which is going to be super light again. So I have no idea. I really don't know.
What about
you guys got any idea?
Well, you bloody dodged that pretty well.
We know the answer.
She's a professional sailor.
I mean, we used to work on the race, so we know who's won already. We've already seen the results.
It's all a set. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. So, yeah.
Just for the sponsors who put in the most money. I'm interested because one of the other things we threw out the other week when we were talking to Johan, who owns the race, one of the owners of the race, was that obviously, Bitey, and when you came to Australia, you completely skipped Adelaide by the sounds of it, where we've all sort of originated from. And Bitey, being the very sociable bloke, has offered a barbecue for the sailors as they go past this time. And we're just wondering which team will stay the longest and have the most beers. And, I'm intrigued. Who would be the most likely to stay around till the end of the party out of the teams?
To the party?
Yeah, at Bicey's place. So I was pulling up at Bicey's place on the way through.
Mate, I'll tell you right now, it's Kevin for sure.
It's Kevin and
Kevin and Scoffia. Yeah. We'll be smoking burners out the back.
And Abby will be out there rolling her eyes saying, we've got to go. We've got to go, guys. This is ridiculous.
I love it. What about this round Denmark? You've got the record for going around Denmark. Is that right?
You did your research well. Yeah.
Just
we
memory,
did.
is it? It's not bad, is it? It's
From memory.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't like full COVID, actually. So there was not a lot going on. And then we just brought the boat back from the Caribbean, which wasn't easy because it was impossible to get out there. But then they said, let's make our own kind of race. And then, again, they had a setup of, we were 4 young guys that time. And then we had Bouwe was on board, and Jens Dolmer and Louis Bouquet. And they helped. Yeah, it was super good fun. And it was like we were super happy to do it at that point because everyone was sat at home being bored, waiting for some racing to start. So yeah.
Right. It would have been cool. So was it just good conditions, or it was just no one's done the lap before?
I think a little bit of both. Let's keep it at that.
It's still a record.
It hasn't been broken yet. Yeah, exactly.
I've got a question for you. The Dutch have had a little dabble in IMOCA World in the past. Do you think the race, as it is, the and how much the Dutch actually follow the race, do you think it's going to spark some IMOCA discussions within the Netherlands?
I think so, and I hope so as well, because I think it's probably the future of the ocean race, and I think the ocean race is such a big part of the Netherlands, and there's always been so many Dutch teams. So I hope there will be something possible and get a good proper campaign on that. Yeah,
Simeon's probably onto it already.
Who knows?
Actually, have we actually mentioned you and Simeon side by side? Like your heads are just.
Oh yeah, Simeon's he's got a good head, hasn't he? He's a decent.
massive scone.
He's definitely a normal-sized human being, that boy.
Yeah, I did it. So I did a Europe tour with him, and that was for me. I was in a pit, and Simeon was skippering, and so we were all learning. So I was learning a lot from Simeon that time.
Oh, what
so the
not
pit,
to do.
he was. Well, he was doing these tricks. And I was like, okay, well, like you are like twice my size. I can't do exactly the same. But so me next to this guy, like he's a lot bigger.
You know, they do say that the 24-hour record that Axel Nobel got, they would have gone 15 miles further if Simeon wasn't driving.
Don't know about that.
Just mention it next time you see him.
Yeah. Bicey's being naughty tonight.
Love you, Simeon. Love you.
So when you head to the Caribbean, what comes after the 600? You got anything else planned?
We're doing the Heineken Regatta in St. Martin, which
fantastic.
we did last year with the 65, which is actually loads of fun because it's just 2-3 hours a day of racing around the 65.
Fantastic.
Like there's plenty, 20 knots of wind, sunshine.
Good times.
Just rubbing it in.
I've got a feeling that the post regatta parties aren't quite the same as they were at the Soggy Dollar Bar and what have you in St. Martin. But we won't talk about them on this particular podcast.
We'll see.
So, what's the favourite thing that has happened to you? Like, if you were, if you could just relive one moment on a boat, which moment is it?
Can I mention two? I'm gonna go for two.
Yeah.
Because one was for sure actually like the moment when we finished the Hobart with Zen. And I got to Hobart, and the party there, I was like, whoa, I was so amazed by the whole Australian thing. And for me, it was also quite a big thing to do the Hobart. So that was super cool.
And so you got your customs pass then? You went into customs?
Yes, yeah. I learned what that meant. It was fun. Yeah, and then the last race again, like for me, it was such a long lead up to the ocean race. And now actually sailing away there, and then in Alicante there were so many people on the dock waving us goodbye, and it didn't feel like I'm going around the road, but that still felt really big. Yeah.
What about the start of the Sydney Hobart? How did you find that? That's a rush.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. There were so many boats, and then all going through the heads, and then just got the kite up there. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yes. I think that Hobart that you did on the Zen, and you enjoyed the party afterwards. I think that was the one we lost BP for 3 days.
Correct. We couldn't find him.
We couldn't find him. He didn't answer any calls, and then we got a photo of him lying in a park.
I was resting.
Nice.
Some of our spies were out.
No, I asked this person walking past to take a photo, and then I sent it to you. So yes, definitely. I was very relaxed.
Okay.
We put out.
Yeah, I was just going to say that start at Alicante, I don't think people really can comprehend just how big it is. It is quite incredible. Like when we talk about the ocean race, we're not, we're quite passionate about it because so many other people are passionate about it. It is insane at Alicante. It's it's a pity you're not in Brazil because then it's even more insane. It just beyond it Because one of the things I won't waste. We've told the story before. I won't waste the time. But yeah, if people could get that size of the crowd, that it's hard to explain. And I heard this year was the biggest ever.
Yeah, but the thing is also like you first have the sailors parade, which you're walking like there's just loads of people everywhere, and then you get to the boats and they do this dock out parade, right, where you. Like there's actually this guy coming countdown, okay, 30 seconds till you have to leave, and then 3, 2, 1, and you're leaving, and you got your team song. And I didn't realize it right at the moment, but it's so cool actually. Like you don't get it in any other races. I think there's loads of people all the time.
What was your?
I think it's
what was your team
song?
What was your team song?
Yeah, I don't even know who it's from. It is I Ain't Worried. But you'll hear it more because it's our team song still. Huh? So
I am worried.
I don't know who it's from. I ain't worried.
I ain't worried. So I am worried. I thought, hang on.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to go to my daughter's playlist to find some kind of groovy song like that.
Yeah, R&B, top 40.
It's not like oldie goldie.
No, but like
That's
the
a
old
good
days
one.
with a bit of Metallica or Pearl Jam or AC/DC.
Can I ask, as a female sailor doing what you're doing, what advantages are there to being female, do you reckon, over the men? We hear about men's advantages, but what are the advantages women have?
I think the main one is at least for me, at like the point where I am, it's easy to stand out, I think. Because there's not that many girls at the moment there. So if you do well as a girl, I think they see
got
it.
yourself, yep.
Yeah, so I think that's a big advantage. Yeah. And I think there's just plenty of opportunities right now. Also in all the one design big boat circuits where they kind of start putting in more rules, like the 44s that you have to have one woman on board, the Swan 50s that you can have an extra pro on board. So for all of that, there's a smaller group of women, I think, and there's getting more than there's guys, and there's more and more opportunities. So
A really good point, actually, isn't it? As that comes into play, more and more people are going to get opportunities.
I'm waiting for them to put in the rule that you've got to have one old useless bloke on the boat. It's not the owner.
You already get heaps of gigs, though.
Yeah. Don't be greedy.
Oh, dear. All right, we're getting to the end of our time here. Are you sort of happy with how it's all going so far? Sailing, that is.
Yeah. I've loved like all the sailing I've done, and it's been hard work at times, but there's so much to enjoy about it. I think I love doing the 65, the leg one and the ones that are coming up. I'm still super keen to go around the world. Yeah, but I think there's still some time for that. So
absolutely.
Super happy.
I got one. Are you happy with how the podcast has gone so far, Arienne?
Thank you.
Well, we're very happy.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely wonderful.
Where are you at the moment? Where do you live in the Netherlands? Which part of that little region?
In Leiden.
Oh, you are in Leiden.
It's close to the Hague.
Yeah.
It's close to the Hague, like a half an hour cycle to the Hague.
Half an hour cycle. I love that. I remember Boss, you were having dinner one night, and I think everyone just my favourite site is, for the people who haven't spent any time in the Netherlands, everyone rides everywhere and it's got unbelievable infrastructure. But I think we were sitting there having a beer and they pull up to the little bike lights and, boyfriend, girlfriend. I think the boyfriend was pedaling and the girlfriend's sitting on the back, with the legs crossed.
Sitting on the back, yeah.
And they jump off, and when the light goes green, she goes a little push and a little run and then jumps on the back and goes again.
Straight back on.
It's just so cool. It's so cool. I mean,
no, it's good, and I must admit I had a few issues trying to get the bike home on the odd occasion. But
we all learn it from a young age, and it helps for both of these examples.
You guys are awesome. You can't beat the Dutch in cycling either at the moment. You're just unreal. So. Alrighty, okay. I think we may have come to our time. It's been an absolute joy to hang out with another Dutch women sailor. You guys are just unbelievable. It's so cool.
Killing it.
Yeah, killing it.
Good luck for the 600. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Enjoy and
thanks for having me.
Send our best to the rest of the crewmates over there, and just be careful at the airport, as we mentioned.
Yes. Say a big hello.
Have to
big hello to Nettie.
Disguise.
Big hello to Nettie as well, because we love our little mate Nettie.
Will do.
All right, good
Thanks,
on you,
guys.
Arienne. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you.
Boys, I know I've said it multiple times over the years of recording, but the Dutch, there is a special connection between them and the ocean race, and they're
100%.
They're good people, just a lot of fun to hang out with. genuinely good people, and they're normal sized, which makes them even better. And another fantastic example. Like I can't wait to meet her in real life. We actually hadn't met her before, so this was just out of the blue. And we're chatting to Arienne, and just cannot wait to have a beer with her and have a chat. She was cool,
Absolutely.
as they all are.
If we can catch up with her, golly gosh,
that's
all over the place.
Golly gosh.
Golly gosh.
That's a good one.
Yes, golly gosh.
Golly gosh.
Oh, dear.
Beauty.
All right. Shall we go into the other news? What's going on?
Yeah.
Plenty going on. According to the run sheet, Jordan.
There is so much going on.
It's all in code.
It's all in code. You're going to have to guide us through this one.
Okay, all right. So club events. Let's go into our club events. First off, the DN, whatever that means. I don't know. It's the most popular ice boat in the world. So whether you're a racer or a cruiser, you can be a member of the DN. So ice boating is what we're talking about. They have in North America, the Central Region Regatta. It's been called on for February 18, 19. So if you
It's been called on.
It's on. There's ice.
It's on.
So if you're into that, happy days.
So they've moved it. They've moved it from Milwaukee at Harkin.
Yeah.
From the Harkin factory.
Anyway, on and you're away. So we'll look forward with interest, and we'll come to all the videos that have been turning up and stuff. People have been sharing a lot. We've got a lot of stuff coming in about DNs and ice boats. The one class that all three of us will definitely turn up for. I can say that safely.
At some stage.
At some
point in time.
Yeah. Boys, the wooden boat show or festival is on in Hobart.
Mate, I went to the Palace on Friday night and I walked in there for happy hour as you normally do, and there's normally a table full of people. It was just me on my own.
They've all gone to
everyone's gone to the Wooden Boat Festival.
Yeah.
Mate, I watched the video of it this afternoon. There's just some little clip put up on the socials, and I was about to just break into an old sea shanty, to tell you the honest truth. But shit, there was a lot of boats.
Yeah. It's a huge thing now.
I'll give you your target, right? Because it's 10 to 13.
I'm definitely going to this one.
Okay.
Definitely doing it.
Classic dinghy exhibition at Hobart City Hall. And we've already got some photos being sent through.
We all know
where you're going with that.
Hobart, we'll come back to that. Hobart City Hall. So if you want to get it on, head down to that. So the Australian Wooden Boat Festival happens every year, I think, pretty much.
Does? Yes, it is.
Have I mentioned that the 75th Brisbane to Gladstone's coming up? Easter?
Yeah.
You may have mentioned it, but what you haven't mentioned, which I saw from our good friend Grant during the week, is it's going to be on KO.
On KO. I had to keep that secret last week.
Oh.
So what's this mean? You're going to be booted and suited, Jordan, in the central commentary position?
In the central commentary position. Yeah, no, we're doing full coverage.
And you're off-white, the cream, the beigery.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of going the Bill Lawry with the big nose.
No, I'd love to see you in a beige suit.
Just shrink your head a little bit.
Beige
same
suit.
nose size.
Anyway,
beige.
Absolutely, it's on KO, so it'll be streamed on socials, but and the YouTube. And I'm sticking to calling it that because that's how I want to call it.
The YouTube.
But yeah, on to KO, which is a sports channel, streaming channel that you subscribe. So that's a pretty big one in Australia. I don't know how big it is around the west of the world.
It's Fox based.
Fox based. There you go. So cool. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. So good events coming up, and certainly the Wooden Boat Show. Let's be all honest.
Isn't there another event on next week?
Mate.
Isn't there another?
Hold
did you miss
the press.
Did you miss
Hold the press, Mr. Jordan.
What have I missed?
The T-Cool Classic.
Oh.
Everyone's heading off to the centre of the universe.
Which, of course,
I wondered why I wondered why you let me have the discussion on the Brisbane to Gladstone. I thought, this just going to be nice. But okay.
So it is the Teakle Classic starting next Friday, which is a lead-in race to obviously the Quiet Little Drink on the Sunday, which then is the lead-in to the Australian IRC Nationals.
Well, but keeping the actual race itself for Div 1, that's part of the Australian Sailing Champs.
There you go.
So there's a fair lineup, a lineup not seen for quite some time.
Quite a few TPs are going to be there.
Yeah, 5 TPs.
Smugglers coming over, I saw as well.
Yeah, Smuggler, Quest, Zen, SMB, and the Hooligan.
Yep.
So, it's quite a formidable fleet. And at this point in time, the race itself looking quite traditional in the sense of just on the just champagne sailing, but got potential to be super light on the Saturday. So got to get in early.
If it's good conditions overnight, usually there for 3:00. So
and when's the racing?
Up at 4.
Because when's the racing?
So the long race starts Friday, 3 p.m. And the racing's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, and then I'm going to apologise now. You probably won't hear from me for a couple of weeks.
We have got memories before.
We've got memories where both of us happened to be in the same place at the same time, and it wasn't good.
We've learnt from that lesson. I won't be going live on Sunday night. Put it that way.
Poor old Nikolai didn't quite know where to stand.
All right. Okay. Shall we? Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Well done.
Regatta.
Yep.
I have no idea how we're going to produce because I'm doing Sail GP and you guys you'll be doing that. So it's going to be hard.
BP was going to go solo.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. Put a sit here and wait for
someone in front of his whiteboard.
Sit here and wait for someone to talk.
All right, Jack Lloyd,
do the run check.
Jack Lloyd, listener of the week. Right, we've got a few.
Before we tap into that, just a quick shout out actually to Joss Lloyd. I spoke to her during the week.
Oh yeah.
Told some old Jack stories, about that time.
I was wondering about
in Cape Town and whatever when we're just talking about the race. So shout out to all that know Jack.
Yep.
Very good.
People, stop sending rainbow pictures. All right.
mate, stop sending broken down Defender pictures. You started that one. I'm more than happy for more rainbow pictures.
Peter Coleman,
bring them in.
Peter Coleman sent another bunch. I think they were from the Wooden Boat Show in
the Wooden Boat Festival
in Tassie.
Yeah.
That was good. But obviously, I've got some friends out there because Hayden Barney sent in, and I sent it to you, that the Land Rover coffee cup. Did you guys get that? Which
no, I've got one actually.
Yeah, you pick it up and it's leaking out the bottom. Yep. Which is a good one.
Very good.
A solid contributor this week has been Mitch Cook.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of emails from Mitch this week. Which is all to do with the new improved version of Baccarat. I don't know if it's improved. We're just the more volume. We're trying to give you more.
New.
Yeah, new. But Mitch has been helping with that.
New.
But I got to say, the winner it's got to be Mike Madge. Mike Madge.
Oh, Maggie.
The Magic Man. The Magic Man.
The Magic Man. Yeah.
Mike has been sending, I don't know. Oh, you guys don't check the Insta that well.
We do now. We're going to start doing it now.
He's doing it on Messenger, actually. He's been sending us stuff on the Baccarati Messenger. And he sent this video, which we'll have to share, he said, I thought you'd like this. You said you like ice boating. I thought you might like this, it's a DN being chased by a skidoo doing 30 miles an hour. So the skidoo's doing 30 miles an hour. And all you see is this DN just disappear over the horizon in about 10 seconds. It's insane.
Beautiful.
It's just gone. So I'll have to share that. One of you guys can do that whilst I'm editing. And he said they're on 400 square miles of ice here. And he is in Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay. If we're going to go ice boating, boys, Thunder Bay.
Oh, we got to do it in Thunder Bay for sure.
What a great name. But anyway, everything he sent to me, I just loved. It was just a dream. So, congratulations, Mike. It was unreal. You just keep sending as much info as you want, mate. You're in the good books.
I've got one, another listener of the week.
Oh yeah,
literally listener and talker of the week. I was just something that popped up on the socials is some bloke in New Zealand on his HF radio that basically just chats to everyone out in the Southern Ocean. So everyone taking part in the Golden Globe at the moment. So he has basically a daily sched with them, keeps them up to date with things going on, and it's totally volunteer type thing. But every day he does that, and he keeps an eye on them. He tracks them. He does all those sorts of things. So
would like that.
Good on Pedro.
Yeah. On you.
I think his name was Peter from memory.
Right.
And yeah, so he's a good listener.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah, good on him. Love it. Keep your work up. All right. Okay. You're supposed to be dancing by the video now.
It's hot time with Bice.
Beauty.
Never gets dull.
Oh, never gets dull. I love it. I was going to mention the Caribbean 600. We did speak about it, but we didn't actually speak too much about what it looks like starting on the 20th of Feb. Have you had a look at the course, boys?
Oh, I did a while ago. It's
lots of corners, man.
Just hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Challenging course, but just trade wind sailing. Looks beautiful. So it's definitely, we'll be keeping an eye on that on the coming weeks. They got a fantastic lineup of boats. They're all set up over there at the moment, and they've actually created a new inshore series just beforehand.
Nice.
So we're going to be starting seeing some action from those guys in the guys and girls in the coming days. The other one, did you see what happened on the Bay of Palma this week?
Yes. Did have a look at that.
The Ineos T6.
Gone turtle.
Did a Dino. Flipped her over. And what, they're all going to do it. But what I found interesting here is lithium batteries all caught alight on board.
Oh,
yeah.
So they had a fire on board.
Lithium plus salt water. Apparently.
Yeah, she no work.
No.
She not good.
Back to what are they? The gel batteries, AGMs or
AGMs.
Yeah.
Back to them, huh?
No, but
back to them.
It's a massive safety thing.
Oh,
I mean,
huge.
it was a big one. I know even that. Well, the 65s have lithium batteries in them, and going through that whole thing and how you had to have it in a watertight compartment and all those sorts of things for those exact reasons. And in another world, we know what happens when lithium batteries do catch on fire, Jordan Spencer, don't we, my friend? So the other one I got here, boys, was the social media. You've been mentioning it throughout the week on our chats, BP.
Get into it.
But it does generate some good banter, doesn't it?
It does.
And it's good just getting it. My phone dings about 1,000 times a day now, so I've got to learn to turn that off.
Yeah.
But I saw some when we published the top 10 laser sailors.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
Why aren't I in
it? And then basically a few comments came. I mean, awesome list, of course. A few comments came, and especially from the old school, the old guys from Port Lincoln.
Yeah, Port Lincoln
back in the day. And then it got to what the names of their boats were. Like it kind of took this path, and I was just reading it before, and it bloody made me smile. So Grant Cooper, who will be alongside you on the central commentary position, Jordan Spencer.
Grant Cooper.
He put something out there, and remembering some of his boats, he mentioned some boats here. Mike Pierce, he reckons, had one with his boat name called Pierce Into the Wind. So that wasn't bad. There was another one, Blue Vein.
Yeah, you're going to say that too. That was one, yeah.
You idiots.
And Grant, as Grant mentioned, I liked the name Boat and its sister ship, Yellow Boat. And I actually remember Grant's laser called absolutely the greatest thing since sliced bread. So for that, you boys would have had some good boat names back in the day. You reckon?
Not me.
Or
No.
pretty
I
boring?
got no talent.
Oh, pretty.
No.
Well, the VB
Bachelor
Express.
party.
I
of
was going to
course.
say, yeah, VB Express.
Bachelor party.
Bachelor party, not bad.
Yeah,
not
when we were
bad.
young, me and
Oh,
Sandy.
my laser was called bowel movements. Thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So keep the banter going, guys and
Absolutely.
girls. Love
Yeah,
it, love it.
Cool.
Now, question for you, Jordan.
Mhm.
Second best off the beach class. Answer, please.
Oh, second best. Well, I'm going to say, given my proclivity for not, I'd say 5-0s, obviously.
Oh, okay. We'll go Sharpie. Okay, second best place to go sailing in Australia.
Well, I mean, every time you
said
say
it. Your favourite
my favourite,
place to go sailing.
every time for the listeners, every time we say second best, that's my favourite because I don't want to
It's
sound like I'm
basically
bragging.
his favourite,
Port Vincent, mate.
Port Vincent. The Sharpies had their state titles there this weekend.
Did they?
Port Vincent.
It's the perfect.
Ranking, just sensational yachting. So a lot of the Sharpie guys and girls listen in. So it's a bit local this, but a shout out to all those that made their way over to Vincent, taken out by Focus again, Mao Higgins for his. I think he's won the stake. This is maybe the 37th time
In a row.
I think I'm there on one of those trophies with Mal.
Cool. Yeah.
Well,
Jacko,
everyone has a
Jacko
shot.
was second, and current national champion Sassy Foods, Blackers third.
Isn't that
So,
funny?
There you go.
When we were talking to Arienne before, that she went into the Warren Johns Regatta, went to Perth, and then she went over to Sydney sailing, and literally in the middle of the two is the greatest sailing spot in the whole world. It's just
Port Vincent.
And, you won't find it on a map, but, geez, you'll enjoy it when you go sailing there. All right.
It's around here somewhere.
They do
It's around here
a
somewhere.
mean schnitzel at the pub too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly.
Couldn't
Yep.
get a better location. Anyway, keep going.
All right. Now I've got next on my list here. Let's have a bit more of a discussion about the ocean race.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, how's it going so far?
Well,
How's it going since the episode started?
Well,
They've done 2.3 miles since we started talking, over an hour and 20 minutes ago. So it's not going great. And Malizia,
So
where is Malizia
Still
going?
going to Antarctica.
I think Malizia
Still going
might be
to Antarctica.
caught in the Argulas current.
oh no, I think Sam's starting to pull the tiller towards him. She's
Oh, it's
starting to
coming
get the bow down, heading up towards Cape Town. But basically, they're in Stuffle breeze, biotherm. But it was pretty cool though watching them come in. I must have every now and then. Oh shit! I've got to remember to check the tracker.
Yeah.
But seeing them just smoking along,
yeah.
but how close they were.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was full on. I'm stoked.
It's
we weren't
awesome.
expecting
And then they
it,
just
were
hit.
we?
No, I don't think any of us were. I think that was one of the things we were worried about. What's going to happen? There's going to be 5 boats spread out all over the ocean. But here we go. We got a battle onto the finish.
Okay, I can tell you
Battle
it's
on to the
currently
finish, and they hit the brick wall.
Yeah.
And now they're basically ghosting into Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm looking at the nearest weather station into Cape Town, and they finish right on the breakwater. By the way, if you're in Cape Town, and it would have finished by the time we publish this. 2 to 4 knots of breeze currently. Looking at the latest and the weather there live. 2 knots right now. 4 knots gust up double.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, she's drifting.
Yeah.
But it's
So 23 miles to go by firm. Just kind of sitting, lured and behind by 2 miles is PRB. Well, they're almost heading in a due easterly, kind of northeasterly direction to make, because they came super far south to then reattack Cape Town. I've got to say, biotherm's looking good, guys. Got a bit of inside goss from the team, from people within the race. It's a very, as mentioned with Arienne, it's a much lighter boat. Well, compared to the Militia or 11th House. So this could be its perfect window.
What's the wind angle, I wonder? They could have a kite up.
So I've got them basically, 120 true wind angle at the minute.
Struggling at that. Struggling, yeah.
Yep.
So currently Yeah, they're kind of between 2 and 6 knots. Oof.
Tossing up, whether heat up to get that big fat ass out of the water or just plonk it straight downwind and go there.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think that's why Malicia, she turned a bit too far right.
Spun around on the spot.
We should. Do you reckon we could cross
It's
to
been
Sci-Fi
pretty good
Live?
viewing.
We should cross.
Oh, yeah, we might give him a call.
Give him a call.
Hang on.
You know,
Well, it's been pretty good viewing, but hey, and they must be busting their ass, those OBRs, but it's nothing super duper, is it?
It's
Well,
hard
not.
for them. It's hard.
You're
for 'em.
not. It's
It's super hard. Absolutely.
I'm disappointed in one thing. They're not doing a live coverage, right? Like they the worst case scenario.
I noticed you put the I noticed you put the dig into the Ocean Race Facebook page. Get the Barcarati over there to
do it. I
give
mean,
her some
worst
live
case
action.
scenario, just buy an unlimited sim and send someone out there with a phone, and chase boat. That's it. It's just get it. It's doable. Everyone can do it.
just more barges.
Barge, the Barcarati barge. Yep. All right. What next? Moving on.
That is pretty much the stuff I've got written down here. Apart from we need to start talking Sail GP, gents.
We do.
The
Next
boys
weekend.
have come to town. They're probably there already. Well, the setup's probably getting late.
most
When
of
are
it's
you
there.
flying in, Jordan?
Wednesday night. So if you haven't been, it's going to be. This will be a good year actually. If you're in Sydney, to come down. The last
I'm in
few
Sydney.
years, you're in Sydney, BP.
Go down.
Yeah. The last few years, the tech bases have been away, but now they're going to be at Barangaroo.
Barangaroo.
Yeah, they're actually going to stick the boats out. They've got to crane the boats into the
Darling
water,
Harbour.
so that walkway's closed off. But they've put a walkway behind, and they're going to have the boat and the team bases right next to that walkway. So there's a fair chance you could have a bit of a
Where's
look.
that? Whereabouts?
Darling, just on the end of Darling Harbour as you're
Right.
coming into Darling Harbour.
Oh yeah.
Barangaroo,
Yeah.
Barangaroo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barangaroo. And then I mean,
Hey,
if
Jordan, do you know anyone there? Can I come and can I reckon I'll be able to get in? Or
it's going to be difficult.
You have to buy a ticket, $389.
No. If you do want to do like base tours, I think they have public ones, and it's like $50 or something. So you can do it. But yeah, you're not the only one to ask BP, but you know where to find me.
don't worry. Yeah.
But it'll be a ton of fun. And then the other one, of course, is the racing's. I guess the racing's sort of Bradley's Steel Point. I'm going off my memory here. Clark Island, Shark Island sort of thing. I think they've renamed Shark Island to Enigma or something. But in that sort of area there, and looking at the forecast, it looks like it's going to be warm and perfect sea breeze,
Does look
like
warm.
perfect nor'easter days. So it's going to be unreal. And if you do want to sit out there and watch racing, you don't have a boat, do the Shark Island thing or Enigma, whatever they call it. I should know. That's my job. But that'll be pretty cool if you don't have a boat. Just get out on that island, and I'm guessing Jody Shields will be there, and we'll be having a few million catch-ups. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. We've got because we've got Sydney, which is event 9. Then we go to Christchurch, and then San Fran for the overall for the
$1 million
Bucks.
race.
Yeah. And the Kiwis are coming in strong, and they look like they're the form boat at the moment. But the Aussies have a big lead. But I mean,
Can't take anything away from the Frenchies the way that they've been yachting too.
no, I was just getting there. Getting there. Although they didn't go so well in Singapore, but Singapore was light winds, like pretty
fluky, yeah.
pretty sticky little light winds. But it is good to see. One of the great things about the event is they share information. You can't hide anything, so everyone has a chance. Boring your BP.
Just big day.
Anyway, but
Hang on, I'll just slip a bit of no-dos.
I would just say if you want to get up a really good photo is watching the crane in from the 50. So if you can get close enough to that walkway, have a look. But you'll get, when they crane the boats in, they lift it way up. It's a pretty groovy photo.
Mate, this is the time Henry Waterhouse has to come out in his chariot dressed as Caesar when he comes. You got to remind him about that, all right?
Did you see that?
And the other,
Go on.
the other one we need to remember to do, and maybe hit Jody up when you're there, is we need our little recap, Sail GP recap on all our predictions when we did a joint podcast with Jody.
Oh, yeah. We'll get him back
and we
on.
made all those predictions.
Yeah.
So we should do a little listen back and see how far off the mark all of us were.
I love it. I can tell you, Henry has shared a photo. He's in Oz, getting everything ready, and he's got the full chariot ride. I don't know if we can find him.
Do you still have a mullet?
He's shaved in his mullet and just had it reshaved in.
Good boy.
Yeah. So he
just brought himself a VN Commodore.
Yeah.
doing a bit of circle work.
I love it.
Back at a Winnie Red in the sleeve.
You don't know how true that is, BP, in the old days. Dear. That's it. Yeah, so Sail GP should be a cracker and fired up. Going to be perfect sailing. So happy days. Australia is going to provide. Sydney will provide. And Sail GP will be unreal. It'll be a battle.
So, in all seriousness, what are we going to do next week?
I know.
I don't know.
This is a warning. This is a warning to the listeners.
It's going to
if
be
you
hard.
don't hear from us, just send money. I ran that the other night at the yacht club, like to the new members night.
Did you get
as Commodore, I'm kind of the conduit, and you can come to me and just tell me all the good things we're doing. But if there's any bad things, just send money. Not sure the president appreciated it.
Oh, dear. Running the loose.
Welcome to the second best yacht club in Australia.
I love it.
Very
Describe it.
Well, let's see how we roll next week. Let's see how it goes. Could be a bit of a laugh.
Or
not.
Let's just say this: if we don't get there Sunday, let's get it there Monday. Worst case scenario, but we'll try. We'll try and record whenever. We'll try and
do something for sure.
I'll take my gear down.
Yeah, I'll have my kit in Lincoln. So
and we'll see what we can do. But
Very good.
cool.
Cool.
You got your guitar ready there,
guys.
BP?
Get her out. Get the guitar out.
You know it's always here.
What about a keytar, BP? Have you ever thought about the keytar instead?
What's a keytar?
Oh, I like that from the 80s.
From the
sitar?
80s.
Yeah,
like
the keytar, like the
your keyboard where you hang it off your neck like
that old thing. Yeah. Bit like sort of Funky Town, a bit of Funky Town going on.
Something like that. Oh, dear. All right. Well, who's going to win the ocean race?
I'll get that for next week.
Who's going to win the leg? Who's going to win?
Both of them.
I'm going to put Milizia in there. Milizia going to have a blast home.
Jesus, big cold.
They turned right for a reason.
As we're talking right now, Wholesome first, then 11th Hour, then Biotherm, all within 0.3 of a mile of each other.
What?
And then Milizia at 3.3.
I'm changing my mind.
It's going to be I'm calling it a dead heat.
Dead
heat across the line. And it's Milizia by a nose.
Good luck, everyone. Have a good one.
Cheers.